Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about how to build your arena team like a pro, both offense and defense. I want to make this video helpful to players that are in all stage of the game, so both early game and end game. All right. I want to share with you guys some of my thoughts about how to build the best offense and defense team in the current meta. So hopefully it's gonna be an informative video. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's talk about offense first. Obviously the best way to do arena offense is you going first, right? So hopefully you have a fast enough champion. Really nothing to talk about. Just gear those speed boosting champion as fast as possible. I think usually people go with Arbiter or Siphi. If you're end game. If you're early game, I think you can also go with Lissandra, because I think for early or mid game, the best damage dealing champion you can have is Magnar. Magnar is absolutely amazing, and the champion is HP based, so he doesn't really need attack up or defense up. So Lissandra pairing with Magnar is a very good early mid game combo. So yeah, once you transition to end game, I think the best champion to go first is Arbiter or Siphi. There were a lot of discussions going on between who you should gear the fastest, Arbiter or Siphi. I think right now it's very simple. Whichever champion you can gear the fastest, just go with that champion. But one thing about gearing Siphi as your fastest champion is you better have a Kymar to pair with Siphi, right? Because double speed booster in the current meta is really not a good choice because it's too easy to counter. So usually I recommend only gear you only put one speed boosting champion on your team. So on my account, I go with Arbiter because I don't really have a high speed Kymar on my account, so I can't really go with Siphi. And also my Siphi is only a baseline Siphi. So in this case, on my account personally, I prefer go with Arbiter. Then on your offense team, the second champion that go after your Arbiter needs to be a champion that can crowd control the enemy team. For example, Gurgle is actually a very good candidate. So it's gonna be either a crowd control, AoE crowd control champion, or a champion that can put enemy skill to cooldown, aka Warlord, right? So I do have a very strong Warlord. You need this champion to be speed tuned with your fastest champion. If you guys are not sure how to speed tune your second fastest champion on your team, you can go to Deadwood Jedi's website. He has a arena speed calculator. All you need to do is input your champion speed to his calculator, and he will tell you exactly how many speed you need, so the enemy will not cut in. All right. So I think the most free to play choice you can go with on your second fast champion is Basher. I think Basher, like, this champion works 99% the same as Warlord on arena offense. He just put enemy skill to cooldown for 2 turns. And usually the fight will end in 2 turns. So there's really no difference between Warlord, right? The reason Warlord is so good is because Warlord is so good in defense. That's another discussion. But if we are talking about offense only, the most free to play champion you can go with is Basher. And then talking about AoE crowd control champion, right? It can be AoE stun, AoE sleep, AoE provoke, like Molly, Kymar, you name it. All these type of stuff. Like even Astrolon can go second. Astrolon has a AoE stun, right? If I remember correct. This skill is a AoE stun. Like, if you just have any type of these champion, just gear them second fastest. It's 100% better than double speed booster. It's much more consistent. Then usually the third champion to go is the type of buff strip, because usually enemy team are going to have a shield or something like that. Usually you want to strip their buffs. I think the most popular choice is going to be Madame, right? Madame Ceres, a very old school champion. And there are a lot of other buff strips in this game. For example, Ramantu. I think Ramantu start to be better than Madame once you progress to very end game. Like for example, Platinum Arena, because a lot of champions in Platinum Arena, they have really OP passive like Duchess or Ursuga, right? So I think once you got into Platinum Arena, Ramantu start to be better than Madame. And then the last champion is obviously gonna be your damage dealing champion. Usually you only need one damage dealer on your team. In terms of raw damage, the best champion is gonna be Trunda. It's still the hardest hitting AoE champion in the game. The reason I said in my previous video, I think Leoris is better than her is Leoris is overall much easy to survive the enemy nuke, and Leoris is not gonna weak hit, and Leoris has a immunity buff on himself on passive, right? By the way, I think this is probably world's strongest baseline Trunda here. Correct me if I'm wrong, alright? If you guys have seen a better baseline Trunda, definitely let me know. Alright, one thing you guys gonna be very careful is the speed between your buff strip and your nuker, right? A lot of people still gear their Madame like 240 speed or something. It's completely unnecessary because in the current meta, for the nuking champion, their speed range should be around 170 to 190. Don't be slower than 170 because it's gonna be too slow, and don't gear your damaging champion too fast, because of reaction. You're gonna hit as you're gonna do a normal hit, all right? If you're going too fast. So 170 to 190 range is, I think it's the best. So you want your buff strip and your damage dealer to have like within 10 speed gap. So you don't want any enemy champion to go between your buff strip and your damage dealer. So for example, your damage dealing champion is 190, you want your Madame to be 195. Don't gear your Madame too fast, it's unnecessary. I think that's just a very classical arena team structure. And if you want to build a gold second team, I think the best candidate is Hegemon or Valkyrie. They can help you cutting the enemy team, so you'll still be able to go first. Or if you just want the enemy to finish their nuking, you can bring a shield champion to protect your team. And in this video, I particularly want to talk about building damage dealer, right? Because a lot of people seem to not understand how to build your damage dealer. So like I said before, you should aim for around 180 speed in current meta. I think 180 speed is really not that hard to do. So what I recommend to do is you always going to go with attack percentage boosts, alright? Because 190 is really not that hard. I know, like if it's 2020, a lot of people are building their nuker like 230, 240 speed, but times change, alright? You're absolutely going to go for attack boosts. If you can't get to 180 speed, 160 works. Alright, so always go with attack boosts right now. And for the substats on your gear pieces, one thing I want to point out is attack percentage is actually better than crit damage. Alright, I know obviously it's better to have both, right? But if you can only choose one, you should always go with attack percentage rather than crit damage, because you can glyph it. That's how simple it is. Especially if it's 6-star, you can glyph it up to 8% extra attack, which is a lot, but you cannot glyph crit damage, right? So you're gonna always go with attack percentage. And then another thing about gearing nuker is a lot of people think that you must go with crit damage gauntlets, right? And a lot of people are saying nuker are very hard to gear because you're always gonna go with crit damage gauntlets, but it's actually not the case. I think you can still go with crit rate gauntlets. Alright, crit rate gauntlets, it's alright. Don't worry about it too much. You just get crit damage from elsewhere. You can get crit damage substats from other gear pieces. For example, like this. You don't always have to go with crit damage gauntlets. Just look at my roll bar. I mean, the crit damage is still a little bit low, but it's definitely okay. So like, don't just get misleaded, feel like you have to go with crit damage gauntlets. So let's just do a very quick fight and show you guys what I'm talking about. Usually your offense team is gonna look like this. It doesn't have to be a warlord, it can be a basher, or it can be a AoE crowd control champion like this, and you're gonna need a buff strip. It doesn't have to be Romantu, not many people have him. So like, this is the best offense team. It's in the meta. Like, don't ever go like this. Alright, double speed booster, like, it's 2019 strategy. it's been outdated since 2020. So don't go like this. I don't recommend people. I don't recommend people going like this. The best team I think is always gonna be with Warlord. It's just so much more consistent. You just put enemy skill to cooldown and don't have to worry about it. So it should, like, if you're fast enough, it should be the best team you can have. Yeah, that's basically it. Alright, now let me talk about arena defense. I did a couple of defense video in my previous video. I talked about defense strategy. I saw people commenting saying that the current defense meta is so boring, alright? Maybe it's true, because Plarium just keep releasing gear sets that are beneficial for tanky champions only. Think about Reaction and Stone Skin. Like, if you build champion fast, you don't need these gear sets whatsoever, right? So that's why a lot of defensive, slow defensive champion really start to shine in the current meta. For example, Necrit, a very good Stone Skin candidate, alright, and then Ursuga. Where's my Ursuga? I gear my Ursuga. I switch my Ursuga's gear to deflection set because I know bomb team actually start to become a thing. So I don't want the bomb team to be able to hit me. All right. So I gotta use deflection set. So the bomb team has like 25% chance to fail basically. And when you're gearing your defensive champion, one very important thing is for the bottom 3 pieces, you're always gonna go with HP percent. Alright? A lot of content creators used to say that defense percentage better, right? But actually for arena, if we're talking about arena only, HP is so much better because for the defense, there is a damage reduction cap at 82% and 42,000 defense. You can still stack defense high, so I know even a lot of super high-end arena player, they also stack defense a little bit because they're preparing for the defense downs. They want their champion to be able to survive the defense down. So, but I mean overall, HP percent is just it's still much better compared to defense percentage. So what you're aiming to do is get this HP percentage gear that has a lot of defense percentage as well. So gear sets like this. When you're gearing a tanky champion, right? For example, Ursuga Necrit or Krisk, what you're gonna do is you either gear them super fast or gear them super slow, right? Gear these champions slow, it's not a secret anymore. A lot of people are doing that. But if you want to gear them very, very fast, it also works. Alright, for example, let me show you guys my Krisk. So if you want to use Krisk in arena, this is probably the type of stats you should be looking at, alright? Like, if you want to use Krisk in arena, definitely don't gear Krisk at like 150 speed. Don't do that. Krisk is an amazing champion if you just gear him fast, because he can self-sustain, he can heal himself like crazy and ally protection provoke. It's like a non-stop infinite machine. So he can just keep himself going, especially if you're in lower tier. He is an absolute monster. All you need to do is gear him fast, okay? So, and I also seen people gear the Necrit very fast. It's also really annoying. So one mistake you guys gonna avoid while gearing these champion is put their speed in the middle, like not fast, not slow. Don't do some these type of stuff. Don't gear these champion like 200 speed, alright? You either gear them 250 plus or gear them 150 or below, alright? And then for Stone Skin, personally I think it's a big mistake if you put your entire team in Stone Skin. And I think the best Stone Skin champion is Duchess or Necrit, and that's pretty much it. I don't think any other champion is that good in Stone Skin. Definitely don't gear your Candy Phone in Stone Skin. If you gear your Candy Phone in Stone Skin, the bomb team is just gonna easily one-shot you, okay? And I just think Candy Phone is so much better in Swift Parry. And one thing I forgot to mention is when you guys are building your ally protection champion, a very important thing is to avoid building crit damage. Alright, I think this was already being leaked a couple months ago. Basically, Plarium's coding team completely messed up their coding. The data shows the ally protection damage taken is based on this champion's crit damage. It's completely stupid, but I mean, it is what it is, alright? It means if you have more crit damage, you're gonna take more damage from ally protection. That's a thing, alright? So that's a thing to keep an eye on. Unless you're building your Savage Krisk, otherwise just try to avoid crit damage on your ally protection champion. Alright, let me just give you guys a couple examples of how to build a good arena defense. The first one is gonna look like this. It's a very typical speed team, but if you want to put speed team on your defense, you gotta put a hegemon in there. Otherwise, people are just gonna easily counter you with some specific champions. So speed team is good, but you're gonna have a hegemon. It doesn't matter a CC Hegi or Nuking Hegi, you're gonna put a hegemon on your defense if you want to build a speed defense. And if not speed defense, you're gonna build a super tanky team. Alright, I think the current meta is building a super tanky team. I know some people are saying it is boring, alright, but I mean, we gotta adapt the meta, alright? So maybe a defense can look like this: a net crit, a Duchess, maybe what else do we have? Maybe then a Ursuga and a Withier. Alright, so this is a good defense right there. That was my reset defense. So just make your team super tanky and take the enemy very long to kill, and that's basically it. Or we can put the Arena King on our defense, right? Just go like this. This is also a very good defense. This is gonna be a A1 Hegi. It's probably gonna look like this. So if A1 Hegi is lucky, my Warlord is gonna go first and put enemy skill to cooldown. That's also a good defense. I think for the most raid players, if you want to build a solid defense, you either have to have a hegemon on your team, right? Hegemon is a very, very good champion, especially if you're in gold 4 or below gold 4. A lot of people don't know how to deal with hegemon. Or if you transition to endgame, I won't recommend to put a speed team on your defense, because speed team are very, very easy to counter, right? So the best defense is gonna put 3 tanky champion with a warlord. That's just how I feel. Or it's just gonna go with my meta here, 4 tanky champions, and just be done with it. Alright, so yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I hope this video can be informative and at least help you guys a little bit. Alright, so yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.